Welcome to Speak Like an American, and welcome to day 2 of your English speaking journey. Yesterday, you took an important step. You stopped waiting for perfection, you started speaking out loud, and you began breaking the translation habit. Today, we are going to build directly on that foundation. We won't learn complicated rules today either. Instead, we are going to expand your simple English so you can talk about more than just yourself. You will start talking about your world, your routines, and the actions happening around you in real time. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to describe what was happening around you, but your mind stalled because you only knew how to talk about yourself? If this has happened to you, don't worry. You are not alone. In fact, this is the next hurdle that millions of English learners face. They learn how to say, I am walking, or I feel good. But the moment they need to look outward at the world, they freeze. Why? Because they are still trapped inside their own bubble. Today, we're going to change that. From this moment, I want you to stop thinking only about your own actions. Instead, think about the world around you in simple English. Simple observation builds awareness. Awareness builds connection. And connection builds natural conversation. Imagine a small child growing up. First, the child talks about themselves. Then, the child starts pointing at things. Look, a dog. Look, a car. The ball is red. That is exactly how we are going to practice English together today. This process isn't about becoming advanced overnight. It's about expanding your simple English step by step, day by day. And before you realize it, describing the world around you will start to feel natural. Now, let me tell you something very important. Hesitation is not your enemy. Silence is. Every time you hesitate, your brain is searching for the perfect word. But fluent speakers don't search for perfect words. They reach for familiar ones. So today, promise yourself one thing. I will describe what I see, even if my words are simple. Say that again. I will describe what I see, even if my words are simple. Good. That simple promise can completely change your learning journey today. Now, let's begin with today's first habit. The habit is incredibly easy. Look outward. Look at your room, look out your window, look at the street. Not at complex things, not at difficult ideas, just the simple objects and people around you. Start with sentences like these. The window is open. The sky is blue. That car is moving. The table is brown. These sentences may look simple, but don't underestimate them. Simple observations build a strong connection between your eyes, your brain, and your English voice. Here's another important reminder. Never whisper. Always speak loudly enough to hear your own voice. When you hear yourself describing the outside world in English, your brain begins accepting English as a tool for reality, not just a classroom subject. At first, it may feel strange to narrate things out loud when you're alone. That's perfectly normal. Every new habit feels awkward in the beginning. Think about learning to write your name with your opposite hand. The first few tries feel clumsy, but with enough practice, it becomes automatic. Speaking English works exactly the same way. You don't become fluent by understanding the world in English. You become fluent by practicing describing it consistently. Now, I want you to try something with me. Look around your room right now. Choose any object that isn't yours. A piece of furniture, a lamp, a door, a picture on the wall. Now, describe it using the simplest English you know. That is a lamp. It is white. It is on the table. That's enough. Don't try to sound smart. Try to sound natural. Remember, fluent speakers don't always reach for difficult adjectives. Most daily conversation runs on basic descriptive words. The difference is confidence, and confidence comes from repetition. So repeat your sentences again, and once more. Every repetition makes your brain stronger. Every repetition makes speaking about your environment easier. Now, here's today's first challenge. For the next 5 minutes after this lesson ends, don't translate what you see. Whatever is in your room, whatever people are doing outside, describe it in simple English. If a fan is turning, say, the fan is turning. If a bird is flying, say, the bird is flying. If the floor is clean, say, the floor is clean. Keep your sentences short. Keep them simple. Most importantly, keep speaking. Because today isn't about learning hundreds of new adjectives. Today is about building a brand new habit. The habit of looking outward and speaking directly in English. And trust me, this small habit will become one of the biggest turning points in expanding your conversational freedom. Now, take a deep breath. Before we continue, remember one simple idea. You are not trying to paint a picture with fancy words today. You are simply trying to make your English broader than just yourself. That is enough. Now, let me ask you another question. When you look at something happening outside, what happens inside your mind? Do you immediately translate the scene into your own language? Most learners do. At first, that feels normal. But over time, translating every external event becomes a heavy mental burden, and your speaking slows down. If your habit is translating your surroundings, your responses will always be slow. If your habit is looking at the world and thinking directly in English, your speaking becomes natural and fast. So today, we're going to train your brain in a new way. And this exercise is much easier than you think. Imagine you're walking down the street or through your house. Instead of staying quiet in your head, start narrating the scene around you in English. The moment you notice a change in your environment, say it out loud. I see a tree. The wind is blowing. The door is closed. Someone is coming. That's it. Just a few short sentences. No translation, no pressure. Now, imagine you're sitting in a public space, looking out at people. What can you say? A man is sitting. A woman is reading a book. Children are playing. Simple. Very simple. But this is exactly how outward, fluent thinking begins. Your brain slowly stops asking for translations of what you see. Instead, it starts generating English descriptions automatically. Now, imagine you're preparing a meal or organizing your workspace. Look at everything around you. The papers, the pens, the computer, the bag. Instead of naming them in your own language, name them in English. Say them slowly. Paper, pen, computer, bag, desk, light. Don't just read these words. Look at the real object as you say them. This builds a strong connection between the physical object and the English word. No translation needed. Your brain starts recognizing your environment through English naturally. This is exactly how children learn to name the world around them. They don't translate, they connect words directly to what they see. That's what we're doing today. Here's another small exercise. Whenever you notice a change in your day, describe it. The sun is going down. The room is getting dark. I am turning on the light. The phone is ringing. Notice something. None of these sentences are difficult, yet they're extremely useful. These are the kinds of sentences people actually use every day when talking about their environment. Many learners waste time memorizing advanced literary terms they rarely need. But fluent speakers become fluent by mastering everyday descriptions first. Think about it. If you can describe everything around you, you can talk about almost any daily situation. Not because you know thousands of words, but because you know how to use simple ones flexibly. Let me tell you a short story. There was a student named David. Every day he studied advanced vocabulary lists for almost 2 hours. He knew many difficult words. He could pass written reading tests perfectly. But whenever someone asked him, "What do you see happening outside?" or "Can you describe your office?" he froze. Not because he didn't know English, but because he had never practiced connecting his eyes directly to spoken English. One day, he changed his routine. Instead of spending 2 hours memorizing difficult lists, he spent 15 minutes walking around his house, describing everything he saw out loud. At first, it felt strange. Sometimes he repeated the same simple sentence over and over. Sometimes he forgot basic words and had to reach for even simpler ones. Sometimes he laughed at himself, but he never stopped. After just a few weeks, something remarkable happened. His descriptions became faster, his confidence grew stronger, and most importantly, he stopped translating what he saw. His English finally started flowing naturally when he talked about the world around him. That can happen to you too, but only with consistent practice. Remember this: speaking is not a test, it's a habit, and habits grow stronger every single day you repeat them. So today's second challenge is simple. For the next 10 minutes after this lesson, become the narrator of your environment. Describe everything you see happening around you in English. Watch and speak. Notice and speak. Move and speak. Don't worry if your sentences are short. Short sentences today become rich descriptions tomorrow. Keep your English simple. Keep your voice active. And most importantly, stop translating. Because every sentence you think directly in English about your world is one step closer to real fluency. In the next part, we'll cover one of the fastest ways to improve your pronunciation, listening, and confidence all at once, using a daily practice that fluent speakers swear by, applied specifically to conversation phrases. Welcome back. If you've reached this point, you've already taken an important step. You're no longer just watching an English lesson. You're building a new way of interacting with your environment, and that's something to be proud of. Now I want to introduce you to one of the most powerful techniques for improving your conversational flow: interactive shadowing. Maybe you've heard of shadowing before, but today I want you to understand how to use it for back and forth dialogue. Shadowing means listening to a sentence and repeating it immediately. Not after 5 minutes, not after writing it down, immediately. You copy the speaker's pronunciation. You copy the rhythm. You copy the pauses. You even copy the emotion. Think about how children learn to converse. They don't invent new conversation structures. They imitate the phrases people use around them. Little by little, those borrowed phrases become their own. That's exactly what shadowing does for your conversational English. Let's try something together. Listen to this sentence. I see what you mean. Now repeat it. This time, don't just say the words. Nod your head slightly as you say them. Notice how different it feels when your body matches your words. Now try another one. That sounds like a great idea. Repeat it once more with a smile. Excellent. These may look like simple phrases, but every repetition is training your mouth, your ears, and your brain at the same time. That's why shadowing conversation chunks is so powerful. Many learners only study grammar rules. Others only study vocabulary lists. But shadowing combines listening, speaking, pronunciation, and conversational confidence all in one exercise. Now, here's something very important. Don't rush. Many learners think speaking faster means speaking better. It doesn't. Clear English is far more valuable than fast English. Even native speakers slow down when they want to communicate clearly. So don't compete with anyone. Focus on speaking naturally. Imagine someone asks you, "What do you think of this place?" Instead of searching for a complicated answer, keep it simple. I like it. It is quiet. The people are nice. I feel comfortable here. That's already a complete, natural answer. Notice something? Every sentence is short. Every sentence is easy. But together, they create a smooth conversational flow. This is exactly how confidence grows. Not from complicated English, but from comfortable English. Let me tell you about Jessica. She loved watching English interview videos. Every day she watched one after another. She believed she was learning a lot because she understood the interviews. But after several months, she still couldn't speak confidently in real conversations. One day, her teacher asked, "Do you repeat after the speakers in the video?" She smiled and said, "No, I just listen and enjoy them." That day changed everything. She began shadowing short conversational clips for just 15 minutes a day. She paused the video after every question and answer. She copied the pronunciation. She copied the speed. She copied the polite tone and the emotion. At first, she sounded awkward. Sometimes she couldn't keep up with the pacing. Sometimes she had to repeat the same short line 10 times. But she stayed patient. After a few weeks, something remarkable happened. People started noticing that her English sounded more natural and conversational. Her pronunciation grew clearer, she answered questions faster, and for the first time, she felt confident during real interactions. What changed? Not her intelligence, not her talent, her practice. She stopped being a passive listener and became an active speaker. And you can do exactly the same. Here's another exercise for today. Choose one short English conversation video. Just one. Don't watch 10 different videos, watch one. Listen carefully. Pause after every line. Repeat it 3 times. Try to sound like the speaker. Pay attention to the pronunciation. Pay attention to the pauses. Pay attention to the feeling behind the words. This isn't about acting. It's about training your brain to recognize natural conversational rhythms. The more you imitate good conversational English, the more natural your own responses become. Remember, your goal isn't to memorize every script word for word. Your goal is to make common conversational phrases feel familiar, because familiar things never feel scary. So from today, don't just watch English conversations. Speak with them, repeat them, feel them, own them. Because every phrase you shadow today becomes a sentence you can confidently use tomorrow when talking to someone else. In the next part, we're going to learn how to stop being afraid of making mistakes during conversations, how to build real interaction confidence, and how to turn English into a natural part of your daily life without spending hours studying every day. You've already learned something important. You don't need to translate every sentence. You don't need perfect grammar before speaking. And you don't need hundreds of difficult words. You also know how to look outward and describe your world. Now it's time to remove the biggest conversational obstacle of all, the fear of interacting with others. Think honestly for a moment. What is stopping you from speaking English with another person? Is it grammar? Probably not. Is it vocabulary? Maybe a little. But for most people, the real reason is fear. The fear of making mistakes in front of someone. The fear of sounding different. The fear that the other person might judge you. Let me tell you a secret. Every fluent English speaker you admire made thousands of mistakes while talking to people. They simply didn't stop. Mistakes aren't proof that you're bad at English. They're proof that you're trying and learning. Imagine a child talking to adults. Does anyone get angry when the child makes a grammar mistake or mispronounces a word? Of course not. Everyone smiles. Everyone encourages the child to keep talking. Conversing in English is exactly the same. Every mistake is one more step toward real fluency. So from today, change the question you ask yourself before speaking to someone. Instead of asking, "What if I make a mistake?" ask, "What if I connect with them today?" That one small shift can completely transform your mindset. Now let's build another habit. Practice conversational role play with yourself every single day. Some people think talking out loud to yourself with no one around is strange. For language learners, it's actually one of the smartest things you can do because you don't need a partner to build the muscle memory for conversation. You only need your voice. Imagine you're meeting someone new. Look into the mirror and practice greeting them out loud. Hello, how are you? My name is your name. I'm glad to meet you. At first, it may feel funny talking to your own reflection. You might even smile at yourself. That's okay. Keep going. The more you hear your own voice handling conversational greetings, the more natural it becomes. Now, imagine you're talking to a cashier or a colleague. Practice a short exchange out loud. Excuse me, how much is this? Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Don't worry if your exchanges are short. Remember, short English spoken with a calm, confident voice is far better than a complex paragraph that never leaves your mouth. Let me tell you about Marcus. He loved learning English grammar rules and reading stories. He understood almost everything on the page. But whenever someone walked up and asked him a simple question in English, he grew nervous. His hands went cold, his heart started racing. One day, he decided to change one habit. Every morning, he spent 10 minutes practicing common conversational exchanges out loud, by himself, greeting, asking for help, answering simple questions. No audience, no pressure, only practice. After a month, he noticed something surprising. When people approached him in real life, he answered much more quickly and calmly, not because he'd learned thousands of new words, but because conversational speaking had become normal to his brain. That's exactly what daily practice does. It removes fear, little by little, day by day. Here's another important lesson. Stop comparing your conversational journey to other learners. Someone else may have lived abroad. Someone else may practice for hours every day. Their journey is different. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. If yesterday you only spoke to yourself for 1 minute, today speak for 2. If yesterday you avoided a simple greeting, today try one. Small improvements create big results. Now, let's make conversational practice part of your daily routine. You don't need 3 hours. You don't even need 1 hour. You only need consistency. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes before sleeping. 15 focused minutes every day are more powerful than 3 hours once a week. Consistency always beats intensity. Think of English conversation practice like exercising a muscle. You don't work out once a week for 3 hours straight. You make small movements every day. Learning to speak fluently should work the same way. Simple, regular, automatic. Here's today's challenge. For the rest of today, avoid translating whenever you want to express a thought to yourself or imagine talking to someone. If you want to say something familiar, say it directly in English. If you perform an action, describe it in English. If you have a simple thought about your surroundings, try thinking it in English first. Don't worry if you forget words. Use easier ones. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. Because every moment you spend thinking and speaking directly in English, your brain becomes a little faster, your confidence grows a little stronger, and your dream of speaking fluently comes a little closer. In the final part, we'll bring everything together into one simple daily routine for day 2 that you can follow at home, helping you master both self-narration and basic conversational flow. Welcome to the final part of today's lesson. Before we finish, take a moment to think about everything you've learned today. You discovered that expanding your English doesn't mean memorizing massive lists of difficult words. It means looking outward and describing your world. You learned that continuous narration keeps your mouth moving and builds momentum. You learned that short, confident answers and simple follow-up questions are the secret to real conversations. And most importantly, you learned that overcoming conversational fear happens through action and consistency.
And that brings us to the end of day 2. Today, you didn't just learn new words, you built a new habit. You learned to look outward, describe your world, and speak without waiting for perfection. You practiced shadowing real conversations. And most importantly, you took one more step away from fear and one step closer to real fluency. Remember, fluency isn't built in one lesson. It's built one day, one habit, one small sentence at a time. So don't stop today. Keep narrating your world. Keep speaking out loud. Keep showing up. If this lesson helped you, don't forget to download today's free PDF. The link is right below this video, so you can review everything and keep practicing anytime. And if you're serious about building real speaking confidence, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because day 3 is coming and we're going to build on everything you learned today. I'm proud of you for showing up today. Most people give up before they even start, but you didn't. You're here, and that already makes you different. This has been Speak Like an American. Keep speaking. I'll see you in day 3.